Hi, it's Nikki here at Love is the Key. I was just writing in our website and all these ideas that are coming into my head, and I thought probably it could be good to get them onto a YouTube channel, onto YouTube video. And I was basically writing about what I feel our roles are as twin flames right now. With me and Steve, what we feel our mission is, what our path is. And I think there's two really main axes to it. The first is helping other twin flames come together and those looking for their divine partner to understand the journey of what it is, what we're about, why we're here, and how we can help the world, basically. And the other, I think, is to really bring balance between the feminine and the masculine. And I think all the roles are really kind of intertwined, just like our souls. And as I was writing, I really wanted to start talking about what is happening right now. And I think this is really what I wanted to share in this YouTube. Wow, the tears I've got coming up. So yeah, this is definitely a subject I need to be talking about. 2020, as we all know, has been a huge year of transformation. My goodness, my transformation started on the 1st of January. Literally. The 31st of December, I was one person, and the 1st of January, I went into a totally different energy, and all my life changed. And I think all the way through the year, it's been about letting go of so much and just trusting the divine. And here I am. Thank goodness I did. And, we all know what's going on with the virus, with all the rest of it that's going around that's connected to that. But I see it as something so much bigger. I really zoom out so far that I see such a huge, massive other picture. And we're right in the middle of this massive transformation. And 2012 is when, this end of the year, end of the world was coming in, and the feminine energy was coming into the world after being in the masculine. And in 2021, so we had the reverse of the 12 becoming the 21, the feminine energy is going to be very, very much present. And through that, there has to be, we're getting to the end of this massive transformation, and I really feel that everything that's happening right now is so masculine. It's so that it's like this, the masculine power is going for the last surge of, it's like hanging on to the cliff edge with the fingernails. It's hanging on for dear might, and it does not want to let go. And through this is bringing up this collective fear, because the masculine energy is so fearful of letting go of its last part of this world. Even though it'll still be present, it'll just be, it won't be not so much in control, but it won't be the dominant energy. And I really feel like that's really hanging on for its last might before it lets go. And with that comes all these tactics to keep the fear and to keep people in this very left-brained way of thinking of logic and scientific and very, very regimented, which is funny because regimented, thinks of me with the army, thinks of war, thinks of masculine. And so, yeah, it's really hanging on for dear might. And there is a new world emerging. I really feel that. I've got tears in my eyes as I say it. I feel it so, so strongly that this is just a last attempt of, of hanging on until the feminine energy becomes really the dominant. It's like if you see a pair of scales, and me being a Libra, I see everything in scales. Before it was the masculine that was really the heavy one, and the feminine was right up. And then 2012 came in, and the scales began to tift. Scales began to tip. I can't find my word. The scales began to tip, and we had the rise of the feminine, or I suppose in the scale it would actually being weighed down. And so the feminine energy started to become the stronger one, and right now this scale is really about to tip into the feminine. And I think this is why, it's so important of where we are right now to see the bigger picture and not enter into the fear. And love, oh my goodness, I've got so many things coming in my head. Love is what it's about, and this new world that we're coming into will be based on love, and it's really to concentrate on this. That in everything we have the choice of fear and love, and right now we have to choose love. It is the only way. It's what we were born in. It's what we're made of, and it's what we have with us. It's our natural state. And the fear is learnt. When we're first born, we don't know fear. We have no idea what it is. We know what love is. And then the fear is placed upon us. And our journey through all our life, I think that the one basic absolute that everybody has at the base of their life is to return to love. And I think this is why with Twin Flames, it is about unconditional love, because we're at the end of that. We're at the end of this line. And, it's our last physical life. And with that, we know what love is. We know what unconditional love is. And it's when those two flames meet that you really feel that unconditional love. And through that, I think there's so many twin flames rising right now between now and January to really help the shift. And with all the twin flames coming up, the amount of unconditional love on this planet is going to be huge. And that is really what's going to tip the scales. It's, for me, there's many ways of looking at this. You can describe it as going from the masculine energy to the feminine. You can look at going from the left brain to the right brain. You can also look at it being living in fear to living in love. And if you think, if we look way back in the past, where we go from, whether it's with the Middle Ages, whether it's going through the wars, that there's been so much fear, and it's been so individualistic, that now these twin flames are really going to shift this from the fear to the love. And as well, I think what is really happening in the world right now is everybody is releasing this fear and facing it head on. And a lot of people don't realize what is really happening. So they're living in this fear, they're living in this anxiety. And for me, this is a collective fear that goes back hundreds of years. The ancestral lineage and the memories in the DNA of all the fear. And for me, it's this massive surge of fear that hasn't been released, that hasn't been dealt with for so many generations after generations. And finally, it's coming up. It's coming up to be released. And, we have to go through this. I think we really have to go through this difficult moment that we're going through to shift these emotions and to release them, because we cannot move forward until these are released. You cannot, for me, we cannot go through massive change without releasing negative emotions. We can't do it only in love. Love is always there, and I think it's really this outside catalyst that is triggering the release of old emotions that really hasn't been dealt with, so that when we move in to the emerging new world, we can come with fresh eyes. We can look at what we've been through and identify, hopefully, those emotions. And so for me, this role of twin flame is really acting as this massive guiding light, and tears coming up again, of showing people that, love does exist. Love does exist. Unconditional love is here. And I think many people have a lot of, not problems with unconditional love, but they forget what it's like because it's still mixed in with fear. And a lot of times, I think when we love in a normal couple, that love is still based on fear. I think there's always this amount of fear of losing the other, which creates this almost dependent love. And this conditional love, if you loved me, you would do this, and I will love you when. And I think it's when we get to the twin flame that there's no fear left. There's no fear left. It's gone. I know that in the relationships I've had in the past, there was always this love fear. And it's like within us we have this scale again of the love fear all the time. It's duality. There's so much in this now. Now I'm here with my twin flame, with Steve. I just see so much coming through. It's suddenly like you've come out of this place, and you look back on your old world, on your old life, and you see what was happening. And for me, I think nearly every relationship we have before then is based on the love fear, and it's this duality within us that also exists on the outside world, that we're always choosing between love and fear. And that is half the lessons of I think of relationships. Whatever we go through, it's working out this love fear. And that when we get to our twin flame, if we've done the work, because if we haven't done the work when we've got to twin flame, it can be a very uncomfortable ride. And when we get to this moment and this realization, all love disappears. And I know with Steve we had this moment where we saw, in actual fact, that all the triggers we'd had in the past were all based on fear, and they were protection. And then you get to this place of pure love, that fear has no place in it. It just doesn't exist. And this is what, for me, what unconditional love is. It's love without fear. It's knowing that you can achieve everything you want with the person that's next to you who loves you unconditionally. And for me, that unconditional love, it's really, literally, as it says, loving without condition. It's loving the person right now as they are, completely, wholly, without ever thinking of how they could be if they change something. It's loving them because of who they are and not despite who they are. And it's that there's no dependency because there's no fear. There's no fear of losing the other one. And so I think the big role as well of twin flames is to show the world what it's like when you don't live in fear. Because I know with Steve by my side, it's my warrior, that I can really conquer the world now. I really can. There's no more fear left. And I know that when we meet, because we haven't met yet physically, our souls have met, because it's one soul. But I know we will feel that even stronger when we're together, which is going. And so I really think, and I really hope, and this is what we aim to do through everything we're doing on Facebook and on YouTube and our web, is to act as guiding light and to show at the end of the day what it's like. That is it. What it's like to live without fear. So in actual fact, I started this video saying that there was two axes. In actual fact, there isn't. It's just love without fear, and that is it. And that I think is where everyone is aiming to go. But I think to know that feeling of love without fear, we have to know what fear is and how to let go of it. And that all the way through our life, everything we go through is about letting go of fear, so that in the end, all that's left is love.